Hello. It's been a long time. We'll see if somebody's gonna join us in this live chat.
Yes, we're a little crooked here, so let's try to straighten that out some.
If you've been wondering where we've been, we're
Uh,
gonna tell you. It'd be nice if we could tell you while you're live with us. Otherwise, you're watching this later after this recording. And we
yes,
are reclaiming our identity. I'm Janine.
and Keenan, we have our last video was probably about a month ago. Um,
Has it been a month? It's probably
no,
been more
it's
than
probably
that.
been a little bit more than a month,
Yeah,
maybe about 6 weeks.
yeah.
Um,
Since our travels
since our last video
post.
post,
Hey, somebody. Who's
somebody's
there?
chimed in. We
We
thank you
have
for
somebody
coming on.
there. Let us know who you are. And thank you for joining this live with Reclaiming Our
Yes.
Identity.
Yes, we have been missing in action. I'm sure um, folks want to know what's been going on,
Mm-hmm.
where we've been, what we've been up to.
So while we wait maybe for someone else to come in, we would just like to say that we appreciate those who have subscribed. If you haven't, please do. Like this video because it helps the algorithm. It means something. It's significant with regard to the type of content that you're looking at, and share it with somebody. Uh, yeah, because you may know other people who have traveled on the continent, who are interested in moving to the continent, who have transitioned to or from the continent, and that is the context of this conversation today. So we hope that you actually do like it and that you give it a thumbs up. We'll go ahead and tell you.
Get started. So, for those who have been with us for a while, you know that we moved to Rwanda in August, basically almost a year ago, August 14th of 2022. Over the last couple of years, we have been, the Lord God impressed upon me for us to move to the continent. We traveled to several different African countries, and we then, in March of 2022, we moved, better yet, we visited Rwanda. We liked Rwanda, and we decided to move in August of 2023, August of last year, 22, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And so we got there August 2022,
Mm-hmm.
and we had some ups and downs, some challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when we moved with the intention and the belief that this is where God is calling us, that we would be in Rwanda indefinitely. And over the last months,
I'm
several
gonna let you
months,
speak and then I'll
uh, we
I'll
have been
correct you if there's
we
any.
had been all we've had the hills and the valleys, and we've been praying as to if Rhonda was the place that he would have for us to be, if he um, wanted us to stay. And you look like you were going to chime in and say something.
I just have a question on
Okay.
clarity of the content of this particular video is all. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page and that the theme of the conversation is what we are, what I have in mind. So, are you going into detail on this video about where we are now and what's going on in life now with us, or are we making an announcement now and going into detail later? Are we whetting appetites for future videos, or is this a full spill the beans situation? I just want to know, what the executive producer has in mind.
Well, we are going to be setting the table, giving some people some ideas, not ideas, but letting people know where we are, and where we have been.
So there's a big announcement.
So you have to stay on for the big announcement. You have to stay on to the end. But we've been praying about what the Lord would have for us to do, where He would have for us to go, if He would have for us to stay in Rwanda, or if He would have for us to leave. And so, um,
You know how, okay, for those of you who are not YouTubers and you don't create videos to put out into the universe, you want to kind of prep yourself for what the kind of conversation that you're going to have on a video that's going to go global, right? And this time it was more of a, we haven't done a video in a long time. We need to go ahead and do it because we haven't said anything to anybody in our Reclaiming Our Identity family forever. So we have not prepared. There has been no pre-conversation. That's why I asked him, where are we going, to what extent with this? So he keeps looking at me like, I guess to get a physical visual approval of
Not
like
really
how much am
approval,
I
but
supposed to say,
not really
which surprises
approval.
me because I mean I don't. He gonna say what he gonna say anyway. It's usually me he's trying to pull the reins on and hold back. So that's why I say, honey, are we just making this
it's not an
announcement that we have invested our lives in our future and we're staying in Africa forever? That's not the announcement. Or are we just gonna tell them?
No, I mean, I think
what we're doing and where we are, and then tell them the why later and the path and the road on that journey. Because it sounds like you're giving a little bit of the whole full story. You're trying to give a little detail about exactly the path to what the final outcome and decision is.
I mean, because I'm
instead
sure,
of just jumping in with both feet.
no, because I'm sure people want to know, kind of.
I want to see in the chat. Can you all wait for the details in another video, or do you want to know all the details now? And you just want to hear that
People always
announcement.
want to know all the details now. They don't want to wait till the next video.
Yeah, we live in a world of instant gratification.
Right. So, I mean, just the fact that we haven't said anything now, I mean, people are like, come on, get to it.
Okay.
But
So let me ask you some questions. So the last, do you remember what the last video was that was recorded that you did?
I don't remember. I know you did the last video, period.
And what was that about?
I don't remember.
You're not a fan. You're not a fan.
That's because you just be at home. I'm going to pick up the children, and you just decide you gonna make a video.
So finished cooking dinner, or it's on the. Listen, and the house is quiet. Take advantage of the opportunity to connect with the people. Why not?
So I don't know. I mean, you could have done a video yesterday, and I don't know
that means you don't watch. You don't know.
So,
you don't get notification. You do not have the notification bell set, people. Do you all have the notification bell set?
Or it could be I'm just not on YouTube.
The last one was probably when I did the update on my registration of my or getting the licensure, getting registered as a physical therapist in Rwanda, and that journey and how that outcome. That was probably the last one.
Yes.
Or was there one after that?
I think it was probably it was either that or it was one after that, but it was something to that nature.
That would have been May. It's been a while if that was the last one. So anyway, then, so where you been since then? Let's say after May 15th, mid-May, what's been going on with you since then?
What's been going on? It's been interesting. Since mid-May, we've been praying about, where the Lord would have for us to be.
Well, that question had not been answered already? I'm sorry, this is my mother-in-law. Let me, you answer that question.
So we've been praying about where the Lord would have for us to be. Should we stay in Rwanda or what should we do? Because of all of the challenges that we've had, and some doors that we were expecting to open, not only did they not open, God closed them and took out the key. And so we had to make some choices. we had to make some choices as to what we were going to do. Were we going to, continue down that road, or were we going to, um, go in another direction? And it wasn't, to be honest, it wasn't something that we necessarily had a choice about. Um, we uh, wanted to stay in Rwanda, um, for indefinitely, but that has not been uh, God's will. God's will. So, what's interesting is that, um, around about March, we began praying. Um, when we began to see doors being closed, we began praying, asking the Lord, if this is where you want us to be, you need to open doors. If you don't open doors for us, then we have to go in another direction. We began praying and praying, and we said, Lord, we need to know something basically by May. If we don't know anything by May, then we have to go in a different direction. And God did not open the doors that we wanted him to open. In fact, and so by May, we made the decision that we were going to leave Rwanda. Um, we were going to leave Rwanda. And when we decided to leave, what's interesting is that, as my wife mentioned in the previous video that she did, she talked about her situation with her licensure. She is for those who may not have been with us for a while, my wife is a doctor of physical therapy. And so this entire time, since we got to Rwanda um, in August of last year, since October, she had been trying to get her licensure situation transfers so that she can practice in in the country. And so because they don't have a doctoral program there, it made things very, very challenging for her, for those who, if you've seen the video. And so after we decided that we were going to leave Rwanda and go in a different direction,
You
or
already
better
made
yet,
the
excuse me.
announcement without me?
No, I didn't make any announcement. So pump your brakes. So after, not even after we made the decision, after God made the decision that we were going to go in another direction, because like I said before, we prayed and we asked the Lord, if you don't open up some doors, then we're going to have to go in a different direction. And so he, didn't open those doors. And after, he closed those doors and told us basically that you're going in a different direction. Right afterwards is when her licensure situation was strict.
Only because I continued to pursue it. That was in spite of having, like I said, it sounded like you made an announcement. You said made a decision. What decision have you told the family without me?
What decision have I told the family? That God is sending us, in a different direction.
Oh, what direction is that? That has not been disclosed?
That has not been disclosed.
A different direction than what?
Than
just catch me
being in Rwanda.
Oh, okay. So, see, that's what happened when you leave. You get confused. So God has led us in a different direction than being in Rwanda.
Right. So to catch you up, we prayed in March.
Sorry to make him have to do the recap.
We prayed in March.
We've been praying way before that.
Yeah, we've been praying before that.
Yeah.
But specifically in March, we began praying because God was closing doors. Instead of opening doors, he was closing doors. And so we began praying in March, asking, if you want us to stay here, then you need to open doors. If not, then we're going to have to go in a different direction.
And so what does that mean, going in a different direction?
I'm going to explain it in a moment. If you
okay, I just want to know if that part had come out. So
I just said it hadn't come out.
So I was starting to say that with regard to the licensure, because you mentioned that right after we decided that we were going to go in the different direction, that, ironically is when I got the registration. But so I was saying that despite us understanding that it was starkly clear that the season, the path had ended, I decided to continue to pursue the registration and have another meeting. And you can see that video on update. When you look back through our playlist or our videos, there's an update on my registration, and you can hear that whole entire story. But point being that it wasn't just oh, it came through after we had made the decision. It's just that even though despite making the decision, I continued to pursue it because I was passionate and adamant about completing the process, and all of my hard work and effort not being in vain, and the fact that I felt very strongly that my story, my path, my difficulty and my challenges could be not exposed, but be expressed and make it better for someone else. So that's why I decided to pursue that meeting and continue to move forward with getting the registration, because I felt that I had definitely earned it. So I by far deserved it for sure, with everything that I had gone through in my process. And I wanted someone who really had a seat at the table and some authority to do something about it, to hear my story and hopefully help somebody else. So that's the only reason I continued to move forward with the registration process, and I obtained it 2 days after that meeting. So that's that.
Yes. And so we did. The Lord decided, you guys have to leave Rwanda. He decided you have to leave Rwanda. And it was bittersweet, because I before we went, I knew that this is where we would be indefinitely. This is where God was calling us to be. But then I realized, because we talk about this, and it's like, okay, if God is saying to go, and I believe without a shadow of a doubt that God said to go there, why are we not staying here? And God revealed to me basically that, and I think you mentioned earlier, there's a season for everything. There's a time and a season for everything. And whatever it is that He had for us to do in Rwanda, we did. And so we believe we accomplished.
Obviously, we had to. When we say there was a wall put at the end of the road, no doors were open in our favor to sustain a comfortable, healthy life there, as far as income to provide for our children's education and housing and things of that nature. Not that He closed the doors did not open, except until the end, like after me pursuing to continue to get to the registration. I had a contract. We've talked about it since. I could have stayed and started working after I got the registration, but would that have been enough spiritually and emotionally? Because those are other components, with my husband working in ministry and wanting to serve in a capacity that was impactful and effective with regard to being able to help make some meaningful changes in our spiritual community. There were barriers there that kept him from being able to work in his purpose, and that's critical. When you cannot work in your purpose and your passion, those being two different things. But if you're not able to do either one of them because the environment is not established for you to be able to do so, then you literally psychologically you wilt away. And that was the case. So although I could have worked, that component was critical. He needed to be able to do that because there is a calling for him from a higher power to minister in a certain capacity. And like I said, the environment was not conducive to him being able to minister in the capacity that his purpose is aligned with. And therefore, it was not going to be sustainable emotionally, psychologically, or ministerially for him. Our children, by God's grace, succeeded, did well, thrived. It was a great experience for them in difficulty. It wasn't an easy experience for them, but it was a very positive experience for them. The different character building things that they went through with the different cultural nuances in education, administration. The adult authority dynamic over children is different in the African construct than it is in the American construct. So them having to adjust to that, and even social nuances with their peers, culturally, those they did definitely go through some character building things that helped to establish humility and gratitude, and help them to see a sense of privilege, even with seeing sense of privilege with African children who came from homes with drivers and housekeepers and guards and house managers. Another dynamic of privilege as well, with that they did not necessarily have, or that a lot of American children don't have. You think when we want to teach our children about privilege and we're moving to Africa, we only want them to see that there are children who have less to eat than they do, or that don't have as many clothes, or don't have electronic devices. But let me tell you, there are lots of wealthy, very well-to-do, well-established Africans who can give their children everything. I mean, my 6-year-old son today tells me, "Mommy, when I turn 7," now where do most 6-year-olds want to go when they have a birthday? If you said Disney World, you get a gold star, because that is the answer. Most 6-year-olds want to go to Disney World for their birthday. No. My son asked to go to Dubai. That's what cultured children who go to school with other children from other cultures want to do. This little boy, and he's been talking in the car on the way to where we met my mother-in-law. Today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. Okay, Mommy, let's finish this conversation about Dubai, which he started in Rwanda, seeing all the shiny tall buildings, because he had a classmate who went to Dubai during the fall break, the spring break, or what have you. I think a Pakistani or a young Indian classmate of his. Let's just go to Dubai. Anyway, so I'm talking about the benefits of exposure to our children, despite the challenges and complications and difficulties that they had. But yeah, it was lots of. It was a mixed bag, but it was clear that we had little choice left.
Yeah, we had little choice left. So
than to
go in a different direction. To go in a different direction. So we have. So in January, it was January. My wife purchased tickets for us to come to America on vacation.
For summer vacation. I knew my children would need it by then. That after a school year of being away from friends and family, and they, they really, really missed the comforts of home and the conveniences, and not even so much that, the just home, just the familiarity of life they miss in their family for sure. So I decided to track ticket prices. In fact, I believe, honey, when we were talking about moving to Africa, I said I will want to come back in the summer for summer break, at least the first year, because I think that psychologically and emotionally our children will need that, and I would too. You remember me saying that before we even moved? And I was like, definitely my parents' 50th anniversary, done deal. I need to let you know that that's going to be part of the package. If we go, coming back in March for my parents' 50th. They are my world. Okay, love them very much. So that was important to me, and coming back for the summer at least for a couple of months, and then going back to Rwanda. So I got a round trip ticket in January. I had been tracking them, and then one night, Holy Spirit said, tonight's the night. You need to get these tickets tonight. Why they cost this? And I purchased the tickets, and then I told him. I told him I had been looking, but I went on and bought them, and then I told him. But I said, but I have 24 hours to cancel. You know, I purchased it in that bracket or what have you, so that I had time to cancel and get a full refund. Okay, honey? So just know I got them. All right?
So, to answer the question, where have we been? We have been in Atlanta. We've been in Atlanta. That's where we are currently right now. In Atlanta. So like I said, she purchased tickets in January for us to come here for a summer break before the children go back to school. School starts in September in Rwanda. And so that is currently where we are right now in Atlanta, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So now you know. Now you know. Now you know where we are, where we have been.
We are in the U.S.
We are in the U.S. of A.
Hot Atlanta for the summertime.
Yes. So we have been just kind of just chilling out, hanging low.
Hanging low. We've been a little busy.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we've been up to. That's where we are. Let me put it like that. And I hope this helps you have some update on where we are. And we will share more about our journey in our next video. So we didn't want to make this too long. It's about 27 minutes long now. But we'll update you, give you some more information.
About what's next
in
the journey.
Hey there, who is that? Shubar.
Hey, Shubar.
Hey, Shubar.
Hi, friend. How are you?
Good to have you on again.
Yes, welcome.
Yeah, so we'll give you some more updates on what's going on and what's going to take place. We're going to be doing moving forward.
The bigger announcement
in our next video. So thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and we will see you in the next video.
So get those notification bells set.
Yes. We'll catch you later.